Hello reviews, and we're back with another strain review, and today we have the Blue Lobster. The Blue Lobster is actually a cross between the eye candy and the apples and bananas, which is very interesting because this is something that actually created this very candy-like strain that is new. It's something that a lot of people have not experienced yet, so it was interesting to get the chance to actually try it. I've been hearing a lot of hype about it. It actually won the first place for taste at the Olympics, which is really dope to see. This is very cool to see a Maine grower doing that. So definitely want to say that before I get into the review. But let's get into the review. Let's start off with the look. The look on it is definitely something that will be very appealing to a lot of people. I definitely can see how this one is really appealing to most crowds, but what I didn't necessarily enjoy about the look was the fact that it was machine trimmed. I'm not a huge fan of when brands do that. I know that's just a process that they want to speed it up a little bit, but what that does in turn is take away a lot of the trichomes and it ruins the experience for the smoker. So I would say that definitely plays a huge role in the whole grading process, but for the look, it's definitely going to be getting a 7. I think that a 7 is fair. It's definitely a strain that is really nice, but in my opinion it definitely could be even getting a lower ranking for the look, just due to the fact of the machine trim. I think that should play a heavy role in the grading for most people. But let's move on. The smell on it is actually really great. The smell on it is definitely great. It smells like blueberry candy in a way. It's very interesting. It is something that I can almost assume no one would dislike, so it's gonna get a 9. I think a 9 is very fair. But for the taste, this one right here, I don't know if the batch that was at the Olympics was different or not, but this batch right here, I'm not really seeing the appeal on the taste. I definitely see there's some good parts of the taste at the beginning. You get this very sweet inhale, but it has a salty aftertaste that is, in my opinion, something that ruins the whole taste. It's really nice at first, but it's ruined at the end. So in my opinion, it's definitely a good strain, but the salt plays a huge factor in this grading, so just want to mention that. But let's move on. Or actually, let me mention this. Sometimes you can use salt and you can flush it out a little bit, and I'm not sure if this batch just wasn't properly flushed. I don't know what the issue is with this one, but there's an issue, so just have to mention that. It's possible that they have other batches that taste way better, and me giving it a 7 is something a lot of people might disagree with, but I think it's very fair. So let's move on. The high on this one is going to get a 7 as well. Honestly, I didn't want to give this one anything too low. I think that it was definitely a great overall strain. I think that overall it was really nice, so I'm not going to give it anything too low, but I think a 7 on the high is very fair. I think that this is something that actually has a high that comes on very quick. It's definitely something that is pretty good overall. I actually would say that most people will enjoy the high, and it's something that sticks around for a fairly good amount of time, and it's definitely like a noticeable effect. You know what I'm saying? It's a very euphoric one compared to other ones, but in my opinion, there's definitely less effects when it comes to the candy strains. I think that that's just like a normal thing. So this one getting a 7 for the high, I believe, is very fair. Overall, it's going to get a 7.25. I think that this one right here is definitely a great candy strain. I think it has a lot of potential. I think that I personally probably would prefer it a lot more if it was grown in soil. It's a whole thing. I could go on a whole rant about that, but I don't think you guys want to hear that. But I definitely think that this one really is a great overall strain. I think that this is really nice, and if we were to not be talking about the salts, then it definitely is really nice. So a 7.25 I think is really good. I do think that this has a lot of potential. If it was grown organically, I could only imagine this would be just amazing. So this is really definitely dope to see a Maine group doing something like this. So big respect to them, and I can't wait to see what else is going to come in the future. But this is definitely a strain that I would say it gets my recommendation. I think it's something you have to try at least once.